Hello and welcome back to Everquest. Today we are going to take a look at the Velious expansion as we adventure through it over a series of videos. I'm here on my GM character, Lothar. He's just level 100 warrior, just for GMing purposes. You know, standard stuff. You've probably seen him in all the videos so far. But the first zone you come to when you come to Velious is Ice-Clad Ocean. You're going to come here from South Row on this dock, and you're going to come here and you're going to be like, wow, this is the greatest expansion ever in Everquest. And you're going to just be, you know, the dock's over here, but this is where it takes you when you get in. And, you know, this is a pretty basic zone. I believe it's, what, like level... at 30s, you know, it's a good level. Once it's unlocked, if you're still leveling up, you want to come here. There's a dungeon here, Tower of the Frozen Shadow. I don't think I've ever gone inside of that dungeon, but it exists. There's a teleport area over here, and you can teleport here as a druid or a wizard, so it's a good place to go. And then once you've, you know, kind of gone through the zone a little bit, you can go down to the Eastern Wastes, which we'll go there right now. There's this awesome bridge. I mean, the when this film came out, this was just like so awesome. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but these icicles and ice bridge. It was just like the greatest thing I'd ever seen as a kid when this stuff came out. And then you come over to Eastern Waste, and Eastern Waste is a pretty interesting zone. It's got a lot of different places you can go in it. There's lots of orcs to kill, lots of animals to kill. You can kill giants. You can kill Coldane. There's all kinds of things. There's a dungeon called Crystal Caverns you can go to. There's a raid zone called Sleeper's Tomb. There's a city called Kale Drackle. And then you can go off to the Great Divide. Sleeper's Tomb is kind of like the end of the expansion kind of thing. Crystal Caverns is kind of an intro kind of dungeon. I don't think I've ever really spent any time in there at all. But you know, this is like Sleeper's Tomb. You come to this, man, you're like, what the hell is this? I think it looks different in my version of than it did when it originally came out. I think it's changed. Like, these guys aren't originally here. Those are for when you wake the sleeper, which my sleeper is still asleep. But you click in there and you can zone in, and you know, there's Crystal Caverns, right? It's inside of this. Like, you don't even see it, right? You're like, come into this orc fort, and you're just like, doo-doo-doo, I'm killing orcs. And then there's a zone to Crystal Caverns right there. And then there's a secret exit over there. It's just like crazy, like how awesome it is. So I guess first things first, we'll go over to the Great Divide. There we go. Where did that actually put us? I'm using the GM commands to teleport to each mob. All right, so let's go over here. So you see these giant, like, cannons almost, you know. It's just like canyons and just, I don't know, it's just, back in the day it was so awesome. Like, you don't see anything like this. In my time playing WoW or any of the other games like that, I didn't see anything as just magnificent as what I'm seeing here. Final Fantasy kind of gets close, but there's nothing. It's just nothing gives that feeling that it had back then. So this is the Great Divide. The Great Divide has, you know, a zone to the Thurgadin city, which is where you can go fight. There's a raid inside of the back of there to kill the king there. Velkitor's Labyrinth, which is a wizard. So there's a whole bunch of lore in this expansion, right? Let's go to the full map, right? So the giants live in Kale, the dwarves live in Thurgadin, and the dragons live in Western Waste and Temple of Ishan. And they're like in this almost three-way war. The dragons don't really care they don't hate the dwarves as much, the Koldane, but the giants and the dragons are like total enemies, and the giants hate the dwarves. So you got this. It's a three-way kind of faction thing, almost two-way, because the dwarves are really the intro faction to this zone and this expansion, right? Typically, you're going to be friends with the dwarves starting out. You're probably going to kill these giants because unless you worship Velious, they don't like you starting out. So you know that it kind of plays into the what religion you picked way back when. Kind of gives you some little bit of headway here when you get here. And then this, I have particle effects off. Let me see if I can turn them on this thing real quick. But is it advanced lighting? No. Yeah, I don't think the the special effects are going to work on this client. I have it kind of limited down, but there's this little creek that comes down here, and there's a waterfall, and it's hidden behind here. And oh, there, we can't go. We got close enough to it, so it's hidden, and then you don't even see the zone line, right? And you can just, whoa, this is like crazy, like a hidden waterfall with a city in it. It's just like insane stuff. And then you go in there. That's the city for the dwarves, and they're friendly and whatnot. The exit to Plane of Mischief is down here, and then Velkor's is over there. Let's go to Kale. I'll kind of show that one. So you've been through the expansion. You're starting to raid. This is probably going to be one of the first raid zones you're going to do. The Vindicator, who is right here. This is the Vindicator. He is a giant. He's probably the easiest raid mob in the expansion. He's a tank and spank. He's going to be the first one you see. And he's kind of like he's not really tied to it, but it's like a progressive raid, right? You kill him, and you can work your way back in here into this temple. And then you can fight the statue of Velious. And then the statue of Velious, when he dies, spawns the idol of Velious. And then when you kill the idol of Velious, you get the Avatar of War, which is the hardest raid mob in the expansion. I'm not going to spawn him right now, but he's one of those. And then right over here, you can see the giant king, King Tormax, and his pretty awesome dragon head throne. It's kind of cool. And you can become allies with the giants, and you can bring him a dragon, the dwarf head, or the dragon leader head from Sky Shrine, and he'll give you a reward for it. So it's like a little thing going on there. And that's pretty much all of the raids in here. There's that guy plus those up there, and then once you're done, you can go to there's another zone here called the Waking Lands. The Waking Lands. Yeah, here we go. So this is another zone that's really fun. You can go to Sky Shrine, which is the kind of dragon capital. Plane of Growth, which is where the god Tunar, our goddess Tunar, is at. And then over here is the wizard druid portal. And there, if you're not friends with the dragons, you have to mess with this guy right here. He's another dragon. He's actually really easy. He's probably as easy as a Kunark dragon, if not easier. He's not hard. Let's see here. Let's see if we can zone the Plane of Growth real quick. Where are we at? Need to go up. I have GM speed on, so he runs faster than a bard. So it's kind of annoying when you're trying to pinpoint things. But you click this, and you can go into the Plane of Growth. And the Plane of Growth is a massive zone. Don't let the size of this map fool you. This zone is huge. Huge. Like if I zoom in to like normal scale, right? Here's this. that wolf is like right next to me, but look how far away he is. So there is tons and tons of mobs in here. They all drop armor, but there is a negative faction count here. Like, let's see if I can kill him. I don't even know if I have combat skills. There's tons of mobs, right? And they drop armor, all visible slots and stuff like that for most classes, minus druids and rangers. Kind of an evil focus because there is a massive faction hit here for all the different things. Tons of named mobs like this that just run around and it's just a really fun zone. It just takes a long time to clear. I think it takes me like 3 or 4 hours to clear this all at once. It just takes forever. And then where is it? Whenever I zoom in, it always messes up. Let's see, Guardian of Tunar 5. There we go. And there is the goddess Tunar. If you attack this version, she respawns out in the field somewhere, I think around here. I don't have the other maps installed, but she spawns around here, and she will summon every single mob in the zone that is not dead. So you have to clear everything, or she will summon it all and kill you, unless you have the power to kill, you know, massive amounts of these at once, and it's just not really that feasible. But that is Tunar. Let's see here. Let's go Sky Shrine. Sky Shrine is like the capital for the dragons. And I don't know if I mentioned before, all of the different... this zone's really complicated. If I turn off labels, right? It's just like... It's layered on top of each other. And then there's kind of like mazes and stuff that go through everything. And then there's a maze here. It's just really cool. Here, let's go to the boss. There we go. So his floor is ice, so when you fight him, you have to be levitated or you're gonna have a bad mood. And his name is Lord Yeleniak, I think. I don't know. I've heard it. Whenever we rated it back then, it was just Yell. No one ever said the full name, so... He spawns there. He drops his head, like the Tormax, who drops his head. You can give Tormax's head to him, and he will give you, I think, it's... I can't remember what it is. Or you can give his head... If you give his head to Tormax, you get, I think, Dragon Scale Boots? Or it's the opposite way. I can't remember. it's pretty cool stuff. It's like in-game kind of gear for Velious. So this is just a massive zone, and there's armor mobs here that give the class armor. So we'll get to that shortly. Kind of disorganized here now. Where's the next zone? Kobold Scar. Kobold Scar is the next zone. This one has a teleporter to it also. Right over here, druids and wizards can teleport here. When the zone originally came out, you had to get a item that spawned on the ground over here. Let me see if it still spawns on the ground, but you had to like you couldn't just teleport to these portals without ever being to them, like ever coming to them, even if you were like the druid or something like that. There was like, I think it was like dragon teeth or something that spawned on the ground all over. It was just like dragon teeth everywhere, and you had to pick one up and you had to carry it on your body. They might have gotten rid of that at some point in time. But this zone is a pretty nice zone. It's usually you see druids or wizards kind of soloing all these wyverns and stuff or whatnot. I've never seen anybody kill anything in the water. There is a dragon that spawns here. Let's see if he's up. He should be up. I haven't killed him. I don't see him though. Yeah. Oh, there he is. So. Oh, there he is. So he's kind of like Fadiar, kind of a water dragon. He drops a haste cloak for hybrids and stuff like that. But for the most part, he's a pushover. He's got 100,000 hit points, but he's not much harder than Faded R. So pretty easy raid there. Most people, at least when we did it, we didn't really kill him more than a few times because it really wasn't worth the effort. Let's see here, and then this is Siren's Grotto, which is the next zone. Siren's Grotto is more of like a dungeons, high-end dungeon. I don't think there's any raids in this zone. If there is, I'm not aware of them. It's just hard. It's a water land zone, and I don't know if you've ever done anything with water in these kind of games. It's difficult, especially in Everquest. You can't like cast from out of water into water. And the fish are just everywhere. Stuff's usually pretty hard. Let's see, let's pop up here. And then we can drop down here. And then I think this gold statue right here signifies the way. And then we're gonna go, it's like a maze almost, like this. And then right here is the zone to the next zone, Western Waste. And if you're a druid or a wizard, you can succor to right to the zone line. So you can zone in, succor, and then you're right there. It's like the coolest thing ever, because that zone, it's pretty hard to get through if you're not max level and decent gear sometimes. I don't think anything sees invis, but it's, still a risk. So, you die, your raid gets mad at you or something like that. And then the next zone is Western Waste. Now this zone is absolutely massive. It is insanely large, and it is full of dragons. Lots of dragons, all named dragons. Now they don't all drop like raid loot, but they drop loot nonetheless. Klandakar is a raid dragon. Santalak drops raid loot. Let's see here. There's another one. I can't remember his name. There's like a Lord Najafin looking dragon that spawns over in this area. Might only be on live at this point. Sometimes you'll see shamans soloing some of these dragons over here. Yeldaman, Vida, Hecha, Meza. So you might see some, not druids, but shamans soloing those. Or I think I saw a video of a Shadow Knight actually soloing one in Era. So that's kind of cool. And then there's a few dragons down here that are a little bit harder right before you get to the next zone. But inside of this zone, there's two more zones. So there's Dragon Necropolis. Necropolis. Jesus. Necropolis. Which is down in these claw marks, right? So the lore behind this zone is Venetian clawed the world and left these claw marks right here on the, and that's where they these two little indentions are. So here you can see Klandakar. He's actually hard. I'm not gonna say he's easy, because depending on how you're geared, he can take your group out. I mean, he's not a pushover like some of the other dragons, but eventually he gets pretty easy once you're geared enough. Then in the Dragon Necropolis, jeez, I keep saying it wrong. You can kind of see like there's some of these weird looking human mobs over here. So this zone was revamped a little bit during I think Omens of War or Gates of Discord, during one of those for the different epics and stuff. And so some of the Bard 2.0 and 1.0 stuff takes place in here. I know that for a fact. I don't know about any of the other ones, but it was kind of changed around. And then they added this breeding ground zone. I've never been there, so I don't know what that one's about, but they added that in there. But it's like an experience zone with the dragon at the end. Kind of like if you think back to Sibyllus and how, you know, you have all the frogs and then you get to Zendikar, or Trachanon in that case. But this zone has rats instead of frogs. And they're, you know, whoa, is short. There's, you know, there's rats everywhere. There's a named rat, I think it's Vanical, something like that. Let me see if I can see him up. He might not be up right now. I don't see him. Yeah, he's not up. But there is a, he drops a weapon called the Will Sapper, and it's probably one of the best tanking weapons early on in the expansion. And he's actually pretty hard to kill. Like he's like a one or two group kind of mob. So he's there. And here is Zendikar. He is he's pretty easy actually. He has high regeneration, but other than that, he's pretty easy. Dies pretty fast. Does an AOE fear and stuff like that. Not too hard. But so all the dragons, I don't know if I mentioned this, all the dragons plus the top tier giants, so Velk, Tormax, and the statue drop keys, and those keys can be turned into this guy right here, Gildar's Shade. Let's see if I can pull grab to him. There we go. You give the shard, or the yeah, I think it's the shard. I can't remember what the other item is. But you get the Sleeper's Tomb key from this guy. You just hand it to him. He gives you the key, and voila, you're keyed for the Sleeper's Tomb. I'm totally having a mind blank on what the other item is that he gives you. But you give him the shard, or you give him the talisman. Yeah, that's it, the talisman. Because the other dragons, they drop talismans. Zendikar's talisman. And Kalandakar, Snotalax, and the other one. So let's pop out of here, and I think there's one more dragon inside Visions that drops it. So let's pop over to Snot. So here is this guy. He is actually he's a pretty feisty guy. He does an AOE fear plus some other stuff. If you're not ready for him, he's gonna destroy you. But he's on the Claws of Vishan faction, so if you have the rep with him, you can run by him and get into the Temple of Vishan. So that is an option, because there is an option for the people who do not kill dragons. They have an option to get armor from the Sky Shrine armor people. So this is Temple of Vishan. It's a very interesting zone. We'll say that first and foremost. It's a raid zone, but it's massive. It is so big. I don't know if you can tell the grandness of this zone from this, but it's broken up into wings. So you have a wing here, you have a wing here, and you have the north wing. So this wing right here is called the Halls of Testing. It's kind of like on the east side, I guess. On the west side, you have the west wing, I guess. It's 3 dragons that are named Gazum, Telkarinar, and Lindra the Keeper. And then over on the other wing, it's called the Halls of Testing. There's only one named dragon. Those are Dozikar the Cursed. And there are named drakes that drop stuff. And so this whole side here generates quest items for this side over here. Gaz, Telk, and Lind are all quest mobs. They will accept quest items from this area. And Doze drops these items called tiers. Let's see if we can look at his loot real quick. Loot. So yeah, he has like a white tier, right? And then if you go to one of these other named ones, they drop symbols. So it's usually 1 tier plus 3 symbols, or some combination of the whatever. It's 4 items will give you a new, like pretty much a best in slot item for the entire expansion, for the most part, from these quests. So these are very highly coveted items, but you know, and that's for people who don't kill dragons. You have to have the, you know, ally rep with the claws of Vishen to actually do the quests, but it's, you know, not that hard to flop back and forth if you're actually playing a character. And then you just pretty much, it's a pretty easy clear of all these. The hardest mob is Dozer, but he is not. He's not as hard as a lot of the other ones. And then also the dragons in this side and this side drop different armor. So since these ones are on the Claws of Vishen faction, they drop the ancient armor, which is the Giant's quest armor. These guys drop the I don't even know what it's called. Let me see. I think it's like, all right, so it's the unadorned armor that drops on these guys. It's, you know, it's the dragon armor that you get from Sky Shrine. This armor here from the Halls of Testing is probably the best in slot for almost every class in Velious. You know, save for some, you know, unique item that's not an armor set, but for the most part it's the best. The giant armor offers a little bit more armor class, I believe, but not enough to give up the other stats that you get. There's a lot of resistance stuff on that, so you know, that's kind of the intro of the zone, right? And then let me see, let's pop to this guy right here. So then you get to like the end tier rating, right? So Ikatar, the Venom, he's kind of easy. He's not something to worry about. Let's see, I think Sky's over here. Ishin the Sky. Am I going the right way? Where am I? Oh, he's up there. There we go. So he's pretty easy. He's a raid mob. This guy, Ishin the Sky, is another raid mob. So they're like entry-level raid mobs, and these are on the Dragon faction. Even though, I mean, they're not on the Dragon faction. They're like kill on sight to pretty much everybody. So you can't just have a faction walk up here. But it does take away the faction from them, though. So I don't know the lore behind that. So you kill those two, and then you get up here. Let's go here. And you start making your way. Look how these giant halls and these giant staircases and stuff like that. And then you see this guy right here. Look at him. He's just like huge ass dragon guarding this giant massive cavern, right? He's like the first gatekeeper of North TOV. And he's actually I had trouble. I'm doing this video after I've completed the expansion. So he gave me a lot of trouble early on. And I still need to get a clean video of him. He has a mana tap kind of AoE, so he sucks all the mana out of your healers and stuff like that. So he's pretty difficult to kill. But once you kill him, you're kind of like in loot land, right? Because then there's this dragon, Lord Feskar, or Flesker. There's Dragon the Destroyer. He's a worm, but he's still a raid mob. There's, let's see, what was this guy's name? Lord Krizen. He's a raid mob. They all drop really good armor and stuff too. So they drop items that can pretty much gear out your whole entire raid in a few raid nights of this. A few attempts at this, right? So you get here. This is kind of like the circle point. I usually circle back, but I'm just gonna go this way. And then there's named drakes throughout this whole thing. Each dragon has 2 drakes, so you can try to split them off or kill them. It's however you want to do it. It's work. So Lady Miranella, I guess is how you say that. I don't think I've ever said their names before. There's them, and then right here is this water dragon. Just random water dragon in here. Lord Koi Doken. So he's here. He drops like themed stuff to water. So he drops like water breathing stuff and really good legs and stuff like that. Here's Lord Venom. I'm guessing that's how you say that. And his floor is slippery, and he does a gravity flux, which knocks you back. So if he's not turned in the right direction, your body's gonna like probably end up in the down there in the lava, which is unfun because you have to get a necromancer to summon it. But all these dragons are perma-rooted down, so you can't pull them anywhere. So that kind of makes it easy to get the all the little drakes split apart from them, as long as you don't get summoned by the dragon. So your monks are going to be doing a lot of work here. Where is the wall? Oh, it's right here. So let's go to the northern part. All right, so we'll come back here after that. So you come up here. This is the zone into Plane of Mischief. We'll pop over there at some point, but kind of finish up this zone here. So you go up this hallway. I mean, it's just like massive, man. You're doing this back when long time ago. It was like you see nothing like this before. And this room has 3 dragons. They're splittable, but they're easy dragons. They're not hard. One of them has an AoE poison or a disease, I can't remember which, that is just like absolutely devastating. And if you don't kill him quick enough, he will destroy your raid. Yeah, like so this one has 100k, this one has 120k, and this one has 400k hit points each, respectively. So you can kind of burn down these 2 dragons real fast and then kill this one if you do it right. I've done that once. Usually I try to split them with my monks, but it is what it is when what you can get depending on how much time you want to spend on it. And then up here there's 2 more dragons. Lady Neverdari and Jorleg. Pretty easy dragons, nothing too fancy about these guys. 500k hit points, 250. You could probably do them at the same time. I don't think I've ever tried that. This one, yeah, I think that one's a shaman. That one's an enchanter. Could have swore that one was a cleric. I thought he complete healed, but I guess not. Through there is the zone out, so you can just walk out there once you beat everything. But once you kill everything, everything's dead. All the dragons are dead. I don't think the trash has to be dead, but for the most part, everything has to be dead. This guy right here, the Thylix, will despawn, and Volic Air will spawn in his place. And then I think you have a time limit to kill him. I'm not sure exactly, but he's actually not as hard. I killed him before I killed the Avatar War. So he's not as hard as like that kind of thing, but he's like the near end. If you had to pick the end bosses of the expansion, Tunar, Volic, and Avatar War are those 3 end bosses of this expansion, difficulty wise. He spawns like right here, and I think he's perma-rooted. I can't remember. Most of my tactics are I literally just zerg the dragons. I can't really maneuver them around very well, so it's just what it is. So that's this zone. This is pretty much the last zone here. Let's go right over here. Let's go check out Mischief right quick. And Plane of Mischief is like a single group kind of zone. It's really interesting. I don't know what version it is on this server, but at one point in time, you just like killed these guys around here. And I don't think there was this zone out here either. I don't remember that, but it could have been there the whole time. You kill these, you can make these flowers. They give resistant buffs and stuff like that. I think there was some other stuff you could do. I think they eventually added Bristlebane here, so you could kill him, but I don't remember. I didn't spend much time here. I had a friend who was a shaman who spent a lot of time here doing all the stuff, so I never invested much time in it. But it's a pretty cool zone. It's got all kinds of little tricks and traps and stuff like that. Like that one. He fall in the water instead of going up the bridge. Kind of cool. Let's see here. Let's go to the final zone. Zone. So Sleeper's Tomb is the pretty much final zone, in my opinion, for the expansion. Maybe North TOV it is, but this zone has it's a pretty big, like, you know, crawl. It's a crawl through here kind of thing. It's got see here, the first boss is the Master of the Guard, and he drops primal weapons. These are like almost best in slot weapons. It's like a step between some of the stuff you can get North TOV and then some of the, you know, major raid boss loot. But it all of it procs Avatar, which is a proc that gives you 100 attack, dex, agility. It's like 100 all your melee stats, so they're really useful to melee classes and stuff like that. Let's see here, and then there's the prog over here. Disrupt appearance, another raid boss. Just these weird spectral golems, more primal items that drop off him, and then I don't think there's another one. I think this is the last one of those. So you get down here. So you come in through this tunnel. I'm not going to run through the whole zone. I'll save that for when I do the video for the zone. But you get to the final Abator. He drops some more primal. You kill him, and then you come to this breathtaking view of like Sleeper's Tomb, right? I mean, this is just like phenomenal. I mean, look at it. It's just so cool. And then you see this right here. You look down, you see there's the Sleeper sleeping, and you're like, holy shit. I mean, you don't even know what it is. Like, it's crazy. And then there's 4 dragons all the way around this contraption. And there's this one dude just like walking around. Each dragon is his own raid, right? And they're all pretty hard, and they drop some pretty good stuff. Some stuff is tradable. Let me see which one it was. I think it's the one over there. You can kind of see what the kind of loot they have on them. I think it's this the one. Yeah, the Scepter of Destruction. This is like a highly coveted tanking weapon. They drops here. I've been farming this place for quite a while, so I think I have everything I need from here. So when I do the video on this, I do plan on waking the Sleeper and see what the event looks like on emulated server. But when you wake the Sleeper, he wakes up and he goes into fuck you mode, and it just destroys stuff all across the world and the expansion. It's pretty crazy. I'm pretty sure the WoW dev team kind of copied this kind of thing when they made Deathwing. That's my opinion. But yeah, he wakes up. You can kill him. There was a group of people on. I say group of people. A raid of people on, I think, one of the Zeke servers who killed him early on. And the GMs like shut it down, and it was just a whole big controversy. You can look it up, but there might have been a few other guilds or raids that actually tried to take it down. I think maybe on the TLP servers they try to kill him too. But for the most part, this guy gets wakened pretty early on to prevent people from getting Scepters of Destruction, because it is one of the better tanking weapons, and since it's tradable. They have a real high, real money transaction kind of thing. People, I guess, will sell them for $1,000 or some shit like that. I don't know why. If you're a true main tank of your guild, you're probably gonna get a Blade of Carnage, and then once you know this is done, you can get Hate Giver or Blood Frenzy from Shadows of Luckland like really quick. So it's just kind of one of those weird things. But it is tradable, so you can give it to like a level 1 and dual wield them. I think I have a character running around with them like that from when I was messing around. But you know, this Sleeper's Tomb. It's 4 dragons. They all have their own little raid mechanics, and if you kill all 4 of them, you wake the sleeper, and the zone changes to a post-wakened sleeper zone. And these guys never spawn again. You get new versions of them that spawn. They drop a different version of everything. So, and that Scepter of Destruction never drops again, and the Mask of Tinkering doesn't drop. I don't believe any of those are up. And the Shroud of Longevity doesn't drop anymore. It's a robe for monks that's black. It's kind of nice. It's like a fungi tunic with 100 hit points. So, but that's the Velious expansion. It's kind of went on longer than I thought I would, but that is pretty much the highlights, right? I went through, so we started in Iceclad. I didn't show Tower. Don't ever go to it. Eastern Waste, Crystal Caverns didn't show. Went to the Great Divide, went there. We didn't show Velklar's Labyrinth, but it's a dungeon. It's got a raid boss at the end. Kind of cool. He's a giant sorcerer. I'll do a video on him separate from the zone. It's kind of tedious, so I'll probably do it right at him, because there's a lot of movement around, and it's hard to move a lot of characters around. And then we went to Dragon Necropolis, Temple, Western Ways, everywhere. I don't know what the breeding grounds are, but I'm sure it's from a different era than Velious, because I don't remember it. But yeah, so now we go to that is it. So thank you for watching, and have a great day.